Today I'm going to show you how I make my planet Earth, Mother Earth. I'm going to do it on canvas. Had a lot of requests for my Earth planet. I'm going to add a little moon up here, to make it official. So I'm going to do the Earth pretty big. I'm going to use this guy. It's almost the size of the canvas. I'm going to have it off to the side over here because I want to really be able to get all the textures I want in this planet. This is a some sort of plastic serving platter. Works pretty good. So first things first, I start with the yellow, the marigolds, this stuff right here. It's one of my favorites. I pretty much use it for any type of rocks or planets that have mountains or land masses in them. So I know my planet's going to be in this area. I want mostly wherever the yellow is going to be is where the land mass is going to show up in the planet. So I'm going to do it in this area right here. Let's go ahead and do it. Alright, so I know it's going to be in this area. I do yellow, orange, that's it. Some people use brown, but when you mix this with black, you get brown. So I just add a little bit of black in there, and I mean like that much, not much. Okay, so now I'm going to take the brilliant blue. Okay, anywhere where I want that water, I'm going to cover the blue. On this side too as well. You can get it on top of that. Don't cover it, but just try to get the least amount as you can. It'll give you the cleanest looking planet. Now, I'm also going to add some black over here for my moon. I'm going to do a little moon, a little bit of black, not much. I'm going to spray white on top, and I'm going to let that dry while I'm doing this, because it'll achieve the texture I want. A little bit of white, good enough. Just let that guy dry. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of darker blue, some deep blue, and I'm going to cover a little bit of this brilliant blue so it's not so blue. Let me get this guy flowing here. This cap sucks. I'm gonna get a new one. Bam. Brand new one, back in business. All right, just a little bit. I don't want too much of that, but I do want it on there to mix in with the blue. All right, I take my white. I pretty much cover this whole thing. I think I dropped something on the canvas here. Get him off. Bam. Cover that white. All right. I'm gonna let this sit for a couple minutes. The reason is, once again, when I do the textures using my plastic, which I love to use, it mixes better with the paint than when it's super wet. Come back in about 2 or 3 minutes. All right, I'm back. That was about 3 minutes. So I'm gonna take this good old plastic here, the Walmart bag. What I do is I lightly lay it down on the top of my moon over here, barely touch it, lift it up. Now I like a little texture there, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave that. I've got this plastic that I got out of some sort of wrapping off. It's not too thick, not too thin. It's almost like a light trash bag. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay this down in this area, and I'm not gonna like wipe it clean. I'm just gonna barely touch it in areas and slowly lift it up. Now, one thing I do too is I find the best crinkled spot on the plastic. So this is going to give you the best textures for what you're trying to achieve. So, I'm going to lay this. As you can see, I'm doing it, but I'm lightly touching it here and there. I'm also leaving folded pieces of plastic on there, so it makes a cool texture. So you pull that off. As you can see, you pretty much got an earth type thing going on. So, bring this back over here. And now what I do is actually let this dry again for about 5 minutes, because I'm gonna add the shading on the moon with this, and on the earth, I'm gonna use the cheap Walmart blue and Walmart black to shade this corner of the earth. And I want it to be dry so it mixes perfectly. So I'm gonna come back in about 5 minutes. See you in a minute. See, about 10 minutes. I wanted to make sure with my latex glove here that I can barely touch the paint. It's sticky, but not really too wet. That's when you know it's about ready. This guy's definitely ready. Let's put the black on this side. So let's go back in here, no biggie. Trick with the black is spraying it nice in half. See that? So I only cover a little bit less than half of it. We'll go to here to this side. I'm gonna add a little bit of the white. Sometimes you gotta wipe the card off. You don't want paint dripping onto the painting. Which has happened plenty of times. All right, so I'm gonna go over here, figure out about how big the planet's gonna be, lightly spray in that corner. Add a nice little spray on the corner and on it, but it gave a nice little white shadow. So once that dries, that should fit just nicely, okay? So I'm gonna go back here to the earth. First thing is the blue. Take my stencil here, I'm gonna put it about right here. My personal preference of the way planets look is when basically half of the planet is shaded, which means it has the biggest arc. It looks the best. So that's how I always do it. So I know I'm gonna want about this much of it shaded. So I'm gonna start with this blue. I'm gonna turn it this way. That base, do nice strong sprays, but going fast is the key to me, especially when it's a bigger planet. You have to cover more of it. You'll start to see that fade of that blue. Make sure you got the arc going on. Then once you get past that, it's cool because you're gonna end up putting black back here. So all you need is that first layer of the blue to look like it's shaded. That's why I use the cheap stuff. It almost pretty much works as a transparent. All right, so planet's gonna be up here. I want a little bit more of the blue and a little bit more of an arc. Okay, take the black now, start spraying behind that blue. When it comes to this type of shading, pretty much newer, almost in brand new cans is what I try to use because it does work the best. Older cans would be a pain in the butt sometimes. All right, so I like how that's fading. I'm gonna add a little bit more light black into the blue because I'm gonna end up taking my other black, the thick black, the Rust-Oleum, if I can find it. You know I'm always losing paint here. This is actually a Valspar I like to use. I'm gonna do that because it has a light spray, but it's still dark like the Rust-Oleum. So I think I kind of like that. I'm gonna go back here and give it a look-see, but that looks like about the shading that I want. Actually, I'm gonna add some more blue because we don't quite put enough. Just the whole proportions of the planet itself can be a little off. I'm just coming forward a little bit on my spraying to add more blue. Go back with the black, same deal. I don't want so much of that hard line there. I want that to be faded in. And that's where light sprays technically really do that trick for you. A bit more of the blue, you can always add that. All right, so that's pretty much where I want it. I'm gonna add a little bit of white up here, not a ton. I'm actually gonna put something over this guy over here, just so I don't mess up that at all. I'm gonna spray some white right in the corner where I know my planet stencil is gonna be. to give it some nice depth, nothing too crazy. Take that off. Okay. Now pretty much I'm gonna match the stencil up again, make sure it's getting the look I want. I think that's gonna be it. So I'm gonna let this dry for as needed, 5 to 10 minutes, so you can put this down. It doesn't leave lines on the paint, same as here. So I'll come back in 5 or 10 minutes. Like this guy here, I'm gonna lay him down on the right part of the planet. We have the proper shading on both sides. I'm gonna take this big guy here. Gotta find a spot for him, which I think is about right there. Alright, make sure your stencil is where you want it. This guy's gonna be pretty easy. I'm just gonna cover it in straight black. It's going for simple, normal space. So let's, using the Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch. Always spray the edges normally first, just to kind of make sure I get them. Alright, make sure you've covered everything where you want it. The edges of your planet. It's always key. Now I'm going to do some stars. The way I pretty much normally always do it. Spray some paint down, poster board, take my finger in it, flick it off to the side once, then onto the canvas. And we do a little star cluster going across if you want. That's another thing too, is everyone has their own technique. I like to flick it off a couple times and then do a couple like fast ones closely. That gives you a cool little trail of stars. Just dabble with all different kinds of methods to how to do it, but there's really no wrong way unless you just get them too big. So, all right, I think that's pretty much enough for what we're doing here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this moon off. You got that guy. I'm gonna take this earth off. Now you got that guy. So that pretty much is how I do it. Now, ideally, I probably would have wanted to shade this a little less to show more of the landmass, which just makes it look more Earth-like, but you definitely get the idea of how to do it.